Hello. Hey, this is my blog. This is from year 2012. How to print money. Do you want to print money? So let's try to make your own money. Allow people to use, but disclaimer, guys, it could be illegal in your country, but just for education and for understanding the principles. One, allow people to issue stickers or papers declaring that this guy has helped me and hasn't been held back, of course. Through careful audits, acknowledge some of these papers nationwide to be usable as money. Money is proof that the holder has provided help and hasn't been held back. So the love of money is wanting the acknowledgement more than wanting to help. Okay. Uh, so ignoring the ignoring the message here, what I wanted to say, um, the principles is that if you can create a bond, you already created your own money. That's the principle. However, to exchange goods and services in a country using your own money could be illegal. Using other means than the country's currency for exchange of goods and services could be illegal in some countries. Um, However, though, like if you create a check and you exchange using a check, probably you could argue that, probably you're exchanging money. However, don't break the law. So my point is, don't break the law, but just so you could understand. And sometimes also you want a solution because some people have a lot of potential but they don't have the money. They could help a lot of people, and just sometimes they want to go to sleep, sometimes they are ill or they have to take care of another person. It would be nice that they could create a bond or a credit, and they don't have to go to the bank and such. So really, the if the whole society just want to use money without wanting to accept anything else, a lot of missing potentials in the economy there. um, I think barter, for example, is actually cultural. Helping out each other is actually cultural, and we don't want that to go away. I do see there's an inclination for it to go away, not on purpose, but the nature of the system makes it that, oh, if you use money, you pay tax. If you barter, you don't pay tax. So there's an inclination, even though maybe it's not a strong drive for now, but there's a, if you made a mistake or do something evil, like little bad things could scale up, right? For example, if you use everything uses the internet, like your medication bills, insurance bills, all of them are in the internet. It would be more compelling to the provider that people use money rather than barter, right? Of course. So um, I think, oh, do you want to pay tax for your barter? I think, of course, if you barter, like if you have an economy within a territory, you shouldn't forget about passive contributors, such people, like insurance type of providers, like the police, the army, the just the availability of the doctors and nurses and the ambulance, firefighters, um, and teachers as well. I know it's unfortunate that, but not all teachers are being rewarded for the life saving that they have provided. Like they took care, probably they have saved some students from crossing the street recklessly. You know what I mean? Probably they have prevented a lot of teenagers from becoming uh, extreme menace to society. Of course, the role of the parents is also needs to be rewarded. Like good parenting is actually a service to the whole community. A lot of factors are in play here. So let's move on to the next one. Otherwise, I don't know. I wouldn't cover as much as I wanted to. So this one is assurance here, and this is October 2012. Time exists due to irreversibility of all interactions. Our intuition of time is that total interactions is always happening, irreversible, and therefore always new. Love is the tendency to keep on experiencing interactions forever. Money is a guarantee that a holder has helped and hasn't been helped yet to a certain degree. The scarcity of the world is not of time nor energy, nor money, but of mutual solutions. And this one, the Indonesian words of it. And there are some arguments of other things. I'm not going to talk about it here. Riches, goods, and services are good for those who have helped people. Status and jobs are good for those who are willing and able to perform them. So this is where I want to point out that people shouldn't give jobs as a reward to other people. They should give goods and services as rewards for other people. If you are qualified for the job, then you should get the job. And most of the time, those who have performed well are those who are qualified, not exact like the education. Fresh graduates probably could contribute a lot because the universities have this research that hasn't yet been incorporated into the market. And fresh graduates, you would be missing out if you suppress your fresh graduates. You have to utilize maximally the freshness of this technology. But of course, the reality or the history of achievement is something that is reliable. And the fact that fresh graduates haven't been successfully completed some tasks is something that is also a minus. um, that's just the way it is. So you got to be realistic. So if you want to say, oh, you discourage people from giving job as rewards, that is not nice. Well, what's not nicer is not giving goods and services as rewards, and to place them in a place where they potentially is no longer able to be responsible, because they used to be able to, now they're not anymore. Other people could be better, and now he's in a position that prevented that other people, whether he like it or not, that prevented these other people to flourish. And if that scales up in the future, eventually he's gonna feel it's okay, to be more like that. So that is not good. Next, if one who has helped people used his or her riches to improve his or her willingness and ability to help other people, why not he or she compete for a status or a job? Yes, if you want status, you could invest for the competence, and that would be appropriate rather than you you demand the status as a reward. That is a problem. Okay, all right. This is 2024 about the God, but really it is too cutting edge. I could be in danger. Or it is just my imagination. If you want to read at the Melky EH. Let me write it here. This is the blog. Okay. So, before I continue, I want to do some other things. Let me stop this page. Let me check out the today's. I want to be a grateful person, so I think I want to check out. Just listening also is a contribution. So let us watch videos from top contributors of the world. First of all, uh, Google, yes, the owner of YouTube and the head parent company of YouTube, and this browser and the famous search engine. Let me filter it by channel first. So here it is, Google's channel. Um, what's new about this? This is 10 years ago. Wow, let's watch this. This is so cool. Eric Andre at Google. Share screen. My bad. My bad. Wait. Do I got it? Yes. Let's.
Hello, friends. I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and welcome to Can You Gift It, the Google shopping game show where the deals are endless and everyone wins. Today's contestants are good friends with each other, not me, but I expect to grow very close to them. One is a record producer, songwriter, and author. The other is a perfectly normal person who never does anything weird at all. Please welcome Benny Blanco and Eric Andre. Before we begin,
Yo, the Afro style is always tidy, bro. It looks always tidy, or messy but tidy.
do you typically exchange gifts with each other?
Yes.
We actually have exchanged.
Yeah.
Who's your best gift giver?
You are pretty good.
What about like your mother?
When I turned 9, they were like, "You still want gifts?" I was like, "Yeah, nice."
My mom still gives me an Easter basket at age 56.
Wow.
That's right.
Where's your mom from?
Brooklyn.
Oh, are you from New York?
I am.
You don't give New York.
Is that right?
Yeah, you give like Midwest or Chicago.
Yeah, Minnesota or something.
Oh.
Where did you grow?
No. I just want to make it a fair use.
I grew up in two places, and by the way, I just want to remind everyone that I am the host of this program. Brooklyn and Las Vegas, Nevada.
Where'd you go to high school?
In Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
Guys, watch it, all right? Watch it, all right? I'm going to share the link for you. Let me close this one first. Yeah, this is interesting. Google is innovative, guys. It's just that you see it all the time and you're bored. That's why sometimes it doesn't, you want to complain. But I mean, of course, if you're with people, with the same person all the time, you can't not to complain. The same way, like you love a country, right? You would love to go there. You go to Japan, for example. You're in Japan for 6 months. You can't help but to have to notice something or to feel something that is complainable. So you're in YouTube 24/7, right? You're always going to find something that you're not satisfied with or something that you could improve on. And I think that's normal. But I think Google really deserves a lot. And if have they been rewarded? Have they been rewarded more than other inventors? Yes, maybe. Have they been rewarded appropriately? Maybe not, actually. Maybe not. But how is that going to be achieved? By enabling the population to be able to be rewarding people. If you make the population, just get by, just be able to meet their own, to make their ends meet every single day, one step at a time, one day at a time. I mean, how could they enrich the economy? All right. So what's next? What's next? I think Microsoft. Let's go for Microsoft. Why can't I go? Okay, Microsoft. Let's go. But you want to argue about the antitrust? That is also another argument, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we ended up using their services. I also think the same way. So
On this podcast, I'm sharing conversations with leaders who are at the intersection of the promise and the peril of the digital age. We'll explore technology's role in the world as we look for new solutions for society's biggest challenges.
I do think what we're going through are kind of the growing pains of the birth of a new American democracy and a new international order. If we can get through the next
wow, take a look at that. That is new American democracy and new international order. Now, if Donald Trump didn't win the election, this is a huge cringe. But now I'm I am not sure. I am not sure now what are they talking about.
few years, there's a lot of things to be hopeful about.
That's Ben Rhodes, best-selling author, podcaster, and former Deputy National Security Advisor and speechwriter serving under President Barack Obama. From New York to Houston to the staff of the 9/11 Commission in Washington, D.C., Ben's path into politics was not a typical one, but it landed him a front row seat to one of the great transformations of our time, how social media changed the way people consume and react to information. From his post in the White House, Ben watched social media evolve from a democratizing force of the Arab Spring to a weapon used to spread disinformation and divide societies. In this conversation, we turn our attention to the transformative technology of today, artificial intelligence, and we reflect on how it can help people solve some of our most pressing challenges. To hear more conversations like this one, I invite you to follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening now. Ben Rhodes, up next on Tools and Weapons. Well, I'm delighted to be here today with Ben Rhodes. Ben, you're a noted writer.
All right. What can I say? This looks like an important conversation, and this is even more than local. I think it's going to be related to. I would expect this would be talking about wars, maybe. But let's continue on. But for the sake of me not taking everything, I'm going to skip some parts. So sorry about that. This is part to politics, and then speeches that define America's national identity, how social media transform presidential communication, uh, guardrails for social media, and lessons from AI from social media, and some other parts. Wow, important stuff. So this may not be related to war, okay? It's because at the introduction here, the new world direction, or the new world somewhat administration or management is being presented, but it's going to focus on social media, which is pretty scary because, and but also, you know, honest, in my opinion, because honestly speaking, social media is very influential in the world. If you want to look at it from the perspective of a global administrator, I would say this is huge, because not only it could administrate relationship, or it could administrate market the market. It could, in terms of how people buy stuff. I guess that's a buying behavior or economic behavior, but also in terms of psychological behavior, something such as religion, promiscuity, political allegiance, philosophy, right? Depending on the algorithm and AI, yes, I would expect people to focus on how social media is going to be run in an objective manner, so that people could freely live in an open world, not in an echo chamber, and especially not in a world where it is being controlled or uh, helplessly, from our point of view, we are helpless about how they would want us to grow. So they would control our nutrition, our mental nutrition, our consumption, and that would influence the way we grow. I know there are some horrible stuff to watch. There's some vulgar stuff to watch, and that could change a person. Yes, and universally speaking, we could categorize reliably what are shocking, what are extreme, what are the things that are extreme, and what are the things that would be too, what do you call, what are the things that are going to be too um not compatible with the direction we want to go in terms of how explicit the content is. And we don't want to show that to kids, and therefore we protect our kids from that. And but maybe in terms of the policies, maybe that's too much, because here's my argument, right, about this censorship thing. The reason why shocking things could lead to um, bad thoughts, and then bad thoughts could lead to bad actions, is because everyone else is not accustomed with it. You know what I mean? So the antibody of the society is just not there. So if it's too unique and it is bad or evil in nature, and it is too unique, it is not that it is worthy of censorship because of its content. That's only a part of it. But the complete part of it comes from the lack of antibodies in the society for that particular style. So we should also consider that we don't want a sterile environment. We want a strong environment. So I mean, sterile is good for some occasions. For example, a religious setting, a temple. But in order for us to be able to sterilize the temple, we should be able to be well versed in the evils of the world. Not in terms of doing it, but in terms of auditing it, and processing it, and also rechanneling it, or whatever it is, the solving it, in terms of solving it. Okay, let's skip around to the first, to a content on this part. Microsoft again, man. Oh, okay, I pressed the wrong.
Writer.
And so I always had a little Texas in me. And after growing up in New York, I felt like it was important to kind of live in a different part of the country, open myself up to different points of view. And Rice
Okay,
is
so
a great
this is
school.
important. This is his own background about his, maybe related also to the way he sees things and his credibility. We're not going to uh, have a lot of problems with that in this video, because I'm not going to try to go too deep to the
Communication
video.
is
I'm just
about,
going
and
to
that's what
take
I had to do
snippets.
on that campaign.
One of the things I just have always found fascinating about you, Ben, is we think about people who write speeches or people who engage in politics as people who are always comfortable and confident and
Colonies that became states that then grew. The story we tell about who we are is actually our national identity in a way that is not the case if you're French or German or Chinese or from a place that has a different kind of basis for being a.
Okay, wow, that's a strong statement. Let's
That
see.
was the benefit of controlling the printing presses in those days. For me, social media transformed everything in terms of our own communication and obviously in terms of global politics too. In 2008, people consumed whole speeches by Barack Obama. He would give
All right.
a speech, they would run it on television in full if it was a major speech, and you had a shot at reaching a pretty big chunk of people that way.
Interesting, right? So now in social media, uh, we don't do TV anymore, right? Like when I went to school and talked to my friends, oh, what did you watch on TV? But nowadays, kids would have different things that they watch.
Felt like a certain audience that we talked about Iowa. Obama won Iowa significantly both times. I think and it's putting pressure on governments that never existed before because stuff is visible that is happening on the side of the world. That's all it's seemingly to the good. But on the other side, you started to see after the Arab Spring, the kind of world autocrats, if there literally was like a meeting of the world's autocrats, they would have had that meeting during the protests in Egypt in Tahrir Square in 2011 and said, if we don't figure out a strategy to deal with this, it's going to consume us all.
So if you don't remember, Arab Spring is when there's a change in the government of the Arab world because of demonstration that was organized in social media through social media. That
And
is
treating
huge. That's a
technology like it's
huge
some
turning point in terms of um, in terms of the the presence of the internet in the world in the world, because previously we have fun in the internet, now we have politics in the internet also, or we have been having politics in the internet for a while, but to actually have political impact to such real extent like that, you know, it was uh, or it's just my own statistic, right? It's not a scientific research, but um I mean, I was at the early stage of the internet. It was a pretty narrow scope, and I was exploring not all of it but significant portions of it. So I would say um the 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 Arab Spring was something that is worthy of being in the history of the internet, right? One of the pivotal internet moment.
separate being, which I guess maybe an AI, like it could be, but like it's what are people going to do with this, So in terms of social media, you had to think to see around those corners. You had to not just think about like what is a consumer going to do with
All
this or
right, so I think this part is already wait,
college kicking. You had to think what is Vlad.
press the wrong button. All right, so yeah, I don't know what to say, what else to say. You gotta watch the video. I've already provided the links to it, but also let me also provide the links to the channel. This is Microsoft channel. Let's get back to my blog next, and go back to chill. So next would be the golden sticker system. I think into 2012, it is pretty important to have this solution, um, because of in the economy, and throughout the time people move into a direction that I didn't expect. They didn't go web browsing too much, or at as far as it matters uh, for for a lot of people. A lot of people just stay on the mainstream sites. So the mainstream sites would be the one who's controlling the intellectual property consumption, and in a way controlled piracy to an extent, even though in a not in a very successful manner. And I wouldn't know to what extent is the piracy culture is rampant, because I personally consume things that are filtered out from piracy also, so at a higher purity per se. But it is not really 100%, right? Especially after the coming of shorts, I have become more lenient, because shorts, especially YouTube, it's also the license is like, oh, you put videos on YouTube, you would give permission for YouTube to do this and that to your video. And then in shorts, people would share around music as well, putting in music, and the artists would welcome it, the publishers also welcomed it. Maybe the only, if there would be any objections, would be from the country, the tax money receivers, or the service providers of the country, where they would also have interest in the intellectual property exchange in some of the some of the sharing shares in that, like, yeah, of course, tax, but also maybe in other forms as well. But you know I don't know. When the law is so comprehensive and so huge, it would, at least it is designed to be something like that. So I would have some blind spot about that. But people generally in acceptance with what is happening at TikTok, or what is happening from YouTube Shorts. Um, I bet they have a lot of problematic intellectual property thing, but you know. At least it is said that some of the proceeds that came from that would go to the artist. So I think this golden sticker system is really not becoming uh, up, like people are not going into this direction, but probably it is now considerable again. uh, So I've posted it in 2011. Original post, I think it's older than that. I think I have posted some of the things at Friendster's blog as well. But now Friendster's blog is not um, it's not accessible. Not now. Friendster has been reinstated. I gotta check it again. That's the link to my post about the golden sticker. Now, if this system were to be a system of money, there's something I want to clear up. When a person perform a service for you, you gave him or her a sticker of yours. Now, when that person has helped by another person, he will give that third guy his sticker. And when you help that third guy, he or she would give you his or her sticker. That's it. Don't overcomplicate things. There's no pairing, no matching. The sticker is not to be used like money. Like my father said, give and take. Now, when you have consumed an intellectual products like musics, programs, you would send him or her your stickers with some goods or services. Then he or she gave you his or her sticker. That's it. The golden sticker request is just my way of making popular of the system, since it hasn't become a standard yet. The golden sticker request is when I make a blog and listed the contributors of my life. So since golden sticker is a receipt, I request to be able to contribute to their life, because they have contributed to mine. So that is the golden sticker request. It's a list of people that I wanted to help, that I want to prioritize helping. uh, and if somehow one of them sees it, like, they would feel a little bit more comfortable in terms of asking me stuff, maybe. Yeah, and it's still valid right now. How do people know how valuable your stickers are? What standard should be used? Gold, silver? I say you don't need to. You don't supposed to use the sticker to pay for something. It's a receipt. It's a statement that the holder has helped people, but it doesn't say whether or not the holder has or hasn't been helped back. Unlike money, it's a proof that the holder has performed some help and hasn't been helped back. So it's like a historical interaction mark. So you've been more like you've been a part of a community, and how intense have you been in terms of the exchange of goods and services, or how much have you been helping out in the community. That golden sticker is going to give you a form of status as well. uh, the status that says uh, you've been active, how active you are. So it's kind of like GDP. But of course, GDP is not everything. It shouldn't be the mark of everything about you. But of course, for those who don't know other people, they would have like first impression and stuff. First impression doesn't say everything about a person, but of course, it's about making us comfortable to have to have economical interactions or any kind other kinds of interactions with other people. And then people who has a lot of receipts have paid to their sources of solutions. So this particular word is when the time piracy is pretty rampant, and creators wouldn't expect monetary income. So I hope this system could help distinguish those who care about that and those who doesn't care about that, because we want to have an enclosure where non-physical goods exchange could flourish. Things such as health consultation, accounting consultation, law advices, that would be included, not only movies, musics, and stuff. Those with no receipts either haven't paid to their sources of solutions, or didn't use the system, or didn't use any solutions at all, really. Now you differentiate the value of the sticker by serial number and dates. Stickers handed out yesterday has different values with sticker handed out today. If the distinction was clear, then confusion shouldn't arise. You yourself could post the values of each stickers for others to see. Okay, so another thing that I want to comment off topic is that I already said that I don't want to make a review about videos that I haven't watched before. But that Google and Microsoft video is not, it's a different context. Okay, it's not about that kind of react specifically dedicated for reaction, but it is for listening in this case. Okay, okay, guys. So it's kind of chaotic and all over the place still, but maybe I would also think about a different kind of solutions to make it better. If I were to listen to something, of course I I would I would not be able to expect what they're going to say or what they're going to do. uh, well, of course, the reaction video as well, but more like a commentary video, not reaction video. More like commentary videos. I would try my best to rewatch the videos that I haven't watched yet. Now let's continue on. But in terms of listening type of content, I would be more like listening and reacting, but not really reacting. I don't know. I'm not giving a guarantee whether I should react or not. I'm segueing too much again. Jesus fight. There might be instances when criminals committed crime to help you. Maybe it's your friend or your stalker. You could give him or her sticker, but a Jesus fight sticker, which means there's a plane passing. So this last part, you can read it yourself, right? This is a problem if there's a criminal in your community, but the criminal has a sticker. Of course, right? Like even criminals shop too. So how do you solve this problem? I say, um, you could give him a sticker, but a Jesus fight sticker, which means those that will help the guy, not only help the guy casually, but with forgiveness. And between you and him or her, you could help him or her personally because he or she has helped you, but that's it. It's up to the society whether or not they would forgive him or her. So I predicted that when you make, like when you post your receipt or your golden sticker in your social media profile page to show which part of community you've been participating in or you've been active in, um, eventually because of some cases this community rejects you, and um, you would not, or the community would dim those receipts in your profile page and maybe put a special tags to it or marks that, helping out this person would no longer be contributive to the society. Okay, I know it sounds so cruel because a lot of people have misused this, but we are talking about crimes such as SA or child abuse, things like that. That could be a very big problem. And one that is particularly dangerous is drug abuse or drug dealing. Okay, that I'm talking about that. I'm not talking issues or having a political allegiance or something like that. That is too much. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something like drug abuse. So if you help out this person, you would spread out not productive products, but dangerous products. And when you have a personal kinship with this person, you still would want to take the risk, and people shouldn't dictate to you, people shouldn't micromanage you, but people would want to know the difference between one sticker or the other. So this is what I was talking about. All right, guys, so thank you very much for watching. If you want to have more comments, uh, if you want to have if you want to have more requests, please leave a comment. Or if you have rebuttal or questions, please leave a comment as well. It's going to be a video here. Please visit more of my live streams. Thank you for watching and goodbye.